on this episode of the Loc'd podcast.
This is Miss Hartley. Her real name is Miss Sheneika Hartley.
We reach out to students, reach out to the instructors to ask students how they're doing in the class early in the semester.
Like I'm supposed to be getting a retwist tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'm due for one too. I've had mine. We started ours around the same time, October.
Yeah, in October.
Yeah. I tell everybody, me as a friend isn't like a typical friend, because I'm not the kind of person who talks on the phone every day. You are now watching the Loc'd podcast.
Loc'd podcast. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing good, man. We did a podcast episode before, and I forgot to cut the little mic part on right here, this part over here. And so it made our audio sound real bad. And so we doing this again. But this is Miss Hartley. Her real name is Miss Sheneika Hartley. I'm glad to have you on.
Glad to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I hope y'all enjoying the podcast. Like I said, I know I took a break from the podcasting realm because I wanted to be to myself and to try to get back into it. But again, hopefully y'all enjoyed the Benaya podcast. I should have said that last time we did this. Hope y'all enjoyed that last episode, man. Like I said, he wanted me to get back to, podcast and do a collab with him, and I appreciate Benaya for that. But as I said that, I again hope y'all enjoy. And appreciate y'all for watching. Like I said, man, road to 500. And again, I just wanted to have my mentor, one of my mentors, on the podcast again. So with that being said, we're going to get into it. Before I start, we're going to read the scripture of the day. Proverbs 3:7. Do not think that you are already wise enough. Obey the Lord and refuse to do evil things. So like I was saying in the last podcast, don't let your pride, don't let anything of your ego lead you, because it's not going to guide you the right way. You know what I'm saying? Allow people to put something in your mind. Allow people to put positive things in your mind. Don't allow yourself to think that you can do everything alone, because it'll guide you to a trap. And so again, put God first in everything you're doing too. And don't feel like you have to prove to people that you can do it. Don't feel like you have to prove in order to do it. You know what I'm saying? Just live your life and don't pressure yourself. Don't feel like you have to impress anybody. And again, this last thing, just put God in everything you're doing. Like I said. Also, by the warning, if I start sounding kind of slurish, don't get on me, because I'm tired, and I'm also trying to talk again and trying to think of what to talk about again as I'm doing this, because we did this before. It's just we didn't have the audio sounding real good. And so again, hopefully y'all don't bother to get bugged by that. But again, Miss Hartley, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Doing pretty good. Looking forward to the weekend.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, doing great.
Yes, ma'am. So where did you go to high school?
I went to North Augusta High School.
Yes, ma'am.
Went to North Augusta High School.
Yeah, I know, since you mentioned it, Butler, Butler and North Augusta played each other. I went to Butler High for my 12th grade year. And like I said, man, it was fun. Just going from going to Lexington to Butler and actually going to school in Georgia, different setting, is very different. So I understand that. Where did you go to college?
I went to college right after high school. I went to USC Columbia, and my major was political science. Not the major I wanted to major in, but I was kind of steered in that direction, and I had planned on being a lawyer. When I got there, I knew I didn't want to be a lawyer. I didn't do well my first year there, mainly because I didn't really have any direction.
Right.
Because I did not want to be a lawyer. I always wanted to be a writer.
Right.
That's where my passion was. And it was my first experience with like true freedom, living by myself, not in my parents' house. So I had a good time. I did put some time into my studies, but definitely not enough. Even though it was a good experience, it just wasn't for me. It was a larger university, lots of people, larger classes. Didn't do well the first year. And that year, my parents had another child. So I had been an only child up until that point. And it was exciting for me. I always wanted another sibling. So since I didn't do well my first year, I came home to be closer at home with my little brother. And I started working. I got a job. I got a job at Walmart. I started there as the telephone operator. And I ended up being there for about 13 years. I moved on up, got several promotions. I ended up in management. And then I moved to the personnel area. And then after getting married and having a child, that didn't fit in my lifestyle anymore. Retail is usually you're at work when everybody else is at home. Holidays, weekends, and I wanted to spend more time with my family and my son. So when my son was about 9 months old, I quit to stay home with him.
Yeah. Okay. What is something that you enjoyed most? I know I didn't ask you this, but what is something that you've enjoyed most when you was working at Walmart?
The people.
Yeah.
I loved working with people. When I started, I was 18. I started there as a phone operator. And back then, the main phone line was in the ladies' fitting room. So I would answer the phone and check people in and try on their clothes. And I would see the same people. I worked there for 13 years. I worked in that department for maybe about 7 of those years. So I watched children grow up. I watched people come in, with their spouses or their boyfriends that turn and girlfriends, and then they get married, and I see them have children. And since they were passing by me all the time, we'd have little conversations. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the people I worked with. During the time I was hired, when I was 18, I was the youngest one in my department. It was mostly older ladies. And they kind of treated me like their little child. They were always trying to fix me up with a little boy that go to their church and stuff like that.
Right.
I really cherish those friendships. I made lifelong friendships. I still am in contact with a lot of those people. I met my first and second husband at the job. Yeah. Like I tell everybody, they got an excellent return policy. Let me know.
Yeah. For sure.
I got one husband in exchange for another one. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what I liked the most was the people. I met so many different types of people coming into the store. I've met a lot of different people that I worked with in management and all those different things. I had an opportunity to do a lot of things. I got probably like a total of 7 promotions during the time I was there. So I had an opportunity to do lots of different things. I got a lot of experience. So I really do appreciate my time that I have with that company.
Yeah. That sounds good. Mm-hmm. It sounds good. So did I already ask you where you went to college?
No. Well, I started right after high school. I went to USC Columbia.
Yeah.
Didn't do well there, and that's when I came home. So I would say right before my first marriage, I came to USC Aiken. Yeah. I took just 1 or 2 classes during that time, and I was planning a wedding and working full time, so that wasn't a very good time for me. That's when I changed my major to communication. Mm. So after moving up a few, different positions at Walmart, I figured I'm going to make this a career. So I stayed a little bit longer. And then after having my son, when we had our son, I decided, I want to stay home with him. The retail did not fit in my lifestyle anymore. So when my son was about 9 months old, I stayed home with him for about 8 years. And then, when he got to school age, I decided I'd finish my schooling. So I applied again here at USC Aiken, and then at that time, I was a full-time student.
Right.
And I changed my major to English, and that was the best move I ever made academically, because that's where my passion is.
Right. So what made you wanted to switch your major from communication to English?
Well, it kind of happened like this. I changed my major to communications from political science, and I registered late in the semester, so a lot of the classes were full. And my advisor, Professor Peggy Elliott, she put me in a lot of English classes. She was like, yeah, these will apply to your communication degree, but I feel like I'm going to lose you to the English department. And she did. I started taking these English classes. I'm around other people who love English and writing and reading and all that kind of stuff. And I just kind of found my little tribe of people. And so then I changed my major. And I will tell you, like, when you do really follow your passions, you're going to work harder. You're going to work towards it. So my grades drastically improved. I don't think I wasn't a straight A student in high school. I was A's, B's, but that was the first time in my academic career that I made straight A's.
Yeah.
And it was because I loved it.
Yeah. So, what is something that what is like your position now?
Right now, I'm the coordinator of academic coaching, tutoring, and early warning.
And for those who don't know, what is that?
So the academic coaching part is I help students with study skills, time management skills, any skills that will help them improve academically, and along the lines, life skills, decision-making skills, things like that. Because we all know things outside of the classroom can affect you in the classroom. So we work through different types of things in the academic coaching session. How's your family life going? Are you getting along well with your friends? Are you eating enough? Are you sleeping? Are you exercising? Are you healthy? And pointing them in the direction of the resources that can aid in all of those things. So for the tutoring part, that's almost self-explanatory. Most people know what tutoring is. And then the early warning, it's another thing that we do. We reach out to students, reach out to the instructors to ask students how they're doing in the class early in the semester. And if they're not doing well and they're, maybe facing some challenges, we get them to the right resources, whether it's tutoring, coaching, disability services, counseling center, things like that.
Yeah. So this will make me transition into how we met. Like I said, y'all know college has kind of been a rocky start for me, but it's gotten better. But my GPA was low. I'm not gonna say it. I said it in the last one, but I'm not gonna say it. But GPA was low, and so I had got on academic probation. And so when that happened, it was required for me to go to academic coaching. And I was like, man, well, sure, okay. So I believe someone showed me it. Like I said, I don't know the story. I don't know the story how we met, but I'm thinking of two possible scenarios. Either I walked into the library and I was asking where you were, or either someone showed me like your location and I was just going. So first day we met, got to know her, and we had to schedule a day to see each other. And I was like, okay. So in the beginning, like I do now, but in the beginning I would never go to her meetings because it was like, bro, I could do this myself. Like I don't need no one to tell me, that I'm doing that, this should happen, that should happen. So then as I say that, my GPA had got back to where it needed to be over the summer and also during that semester, because I did take summer classes and I also did pass on my other classes. And then I was like, well, okay, well, this proves that I don't really need nothing because I work 2 jobs and I was doing summer school. But of course, I would go talk to her every now and then if I wanted just to talk to her. And then next thing you know, I had lost it again. I don't have financial aid still now, but I'm like really close to getting it back if I pass these classes in summer school. And the thing was, boy, like y'all were getting on me. You know, because my grades were not that good, you know, and you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, I needed to make that switch last semester. So I was like, you know, me and Miss Hartley, we talked about it. You know, it was like, you know, you need to come to these meetings. But she was like, you need to come to these meetings. I was like, I promise you I will, you know. So I was suffering. Some of y'all don't know, I had caught reflux. I'm still suffering from it now. But I would catch something like reflux, body would feel sick, you know. I still would struggle with class, but it would be like, wait, when it comes up to those meetings, I would go to those because it's not like it's just quick, right? So I'll go to those meetings, and like I said, I've learned so much from those meetings, from being able to open up to a teacher, to asking people, you know, what is this, what is that, and not feel like I have to do it myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said in the last time we did this, like I have a teacher named, well, I'm not gonna clarify her name, but I have a teacher, and what happened was it was English 102, and like I tell y'all, and some of y'all know, how I type is how I speak, and so a lot of slang comes out, you know, how I speak, from how I speak. And so I had asked her because same for writing the media. It's kind of like the same concept for writing the media for her class. But the only thing is, with writing the media, you have to actually write as like you're writing in a newspaper. Except for English 102, like you have to write in the first person, you know. So I walked up to her and I was like, you know, hey, I'm anxious about this class because I feel like it's a lot of pressure, you know. And she was like, you know, well, you got a writing center, you know, I'll be at the writing center these 5 days a week. I mean, not 5 days a week, but 5 hours a week if you need help or anything. And she was like, she recommended me to watch Schoolhouse Rock because a lot of stuff that is applied in her class relates to that. Now, of course, why would I watch that? But,
a lot of grammar lessons in Schoolhouse Rock.
Yeah,
don't knock it.
Yeah. But you know, stuff like that. She recommended me to watch that, and you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, of course, I feel like I could pass that class. In no way, shape, or form you should ever feel like you can't do it. But like, it's just one of those things where it's like I have an anxiety when it comes to the writing. But like I said, I'm able to open up to the teacher and let her know, like, hey, I need you to help me out some when it comes to this, but I have to also work hard too and not just act like you have to do everything for me, you know. So I'm open up to you and let you know, like, I'm anxious and I need your help, but like, I need to do it too. I need to be able to work hard and actually try to pass this class, because this class is my obstacle. Like, this is one of those classes that has been my obstacle since I got to college. And I passed 101, but 102 has been an obstacle. And so, like I said, if I pass this class, I'll be able to get to that major. All those classes, and then science, of course, math. But I actually got only one math class this semester. So, but yeah, man, like, of course, academic coaching has helped me out a lot. And it's been like beneficial. So if you got a academic counselor at your school, wherever you go to, you know, talk to them and ask them questions that you could learn. They gave me papers about a pyramid. I forgot what the pyramid's called, but like a right pyramid, I think. And it's not only her, it's like people like Miss Johnson and other cats that's been in the library that talk to me and just make sure that I'm okay, or make sure that like I'm doing good in classes, and if I'm not, they'll hold me accountable for it. But you know what I'm saying, you need accountability to be able to do the things that you want to do, because the end goal is that degree. And it's not to prove anybody wrong. It's not to say, well, I just got my degree. You know, it's to say, well, I made everyone around me happy. And I was able to do this, you know what I'm saying, even whether if it takes 5.5 years or 6 or 4, you know. So again, just go to your academic counselor and just ask them, you know, for help if you need to. And it don't always have to be, you know, just talking about academics. You can just tell them how you feel about something, or, you know, open up a little bit about what's going on in your life, because we always have good conversations like that.
Yeah, and you never know who can help you, you know, by being open and expressing, you know, what your concerns are, what your needs are. You know, a lot of people are here to help. You know, a lot of people are waiting for you to open up. So don't ever get into a bind and feel like you're all by yourself. There's people here on campus, staff, faculty. It could be the person working in the cafeteria. It could be a maintenance worker. You know, make those connections. You just never know, you know, how a person can help you, or how a person can aid you towards being successful.
Yeah, and also, like I said, man, it's even like there's a lot of people that I've connected with that I would never thought I would connect with. Like, a lot of cats know me for walking around a lot. So this dude that drive past me every day, and he'll see me, be like, and I'll be like, but I don't know him personally. I just be like, and you look at it, you be like, well, you know, he's just being nice. But it's like, we talk. Like, if I was to sit there and walk past him, he'll sit there and walk up to me and try to conversate with me. So it's like, man, you never know your connections. Like I said in the last podcast, you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching, because yeah, there's people that's out here willing to see your success and want to help you with your success by telling you from their own perspective of something that they've been through or what they've seen.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, whether that's in school, whether that's just in life, you know, find you some people to talk to and actually open up to. And don't be secretive about everything, but just, you know, be open to about certain things that you must say. Now, of course, don't tell them everything, because not everyone needs to know your life story. But you know, but as I say that, let's get into Loc'd.
Okay.
I know a lot of y'all know. I've had my Loc'd for 3 years, going on. What's today? It's January. About 3 years, 2 months.
Yeah.
3 years, 2 months. And like I said, I've enjoyed it. I know my hair look raggedy, but you know, it is what it is, man. You know, I must say this story. Y'all probably know. I've said this many times before, but when I started my locks, like, the lady who did my hair, she cut off my locks and put in lock extensions. And so when that happened, of course, I'm thinking, well, lock extensions gonna help out, and they gonna stay in your hair so I can wash my hair the same way. Nah, if you have lock extensions, do not put water on your head. Do not put anything that's gonna make your hair wet, because it depends on who does it, and it depends on how long how strong those lock extensions are. But if they are not strong enough, they will rip off your head. Not rip off your head, but they'll tear off your hair. You know what I'm saying? I've had, I think, like 13 lock extensions put in my head, and I don't have one left on my head. And so I have to regrow locks on my head. And some of them have reached down to like here. So that's like the journey of having like the lock extensions. So you don't want to have that, because it'll mess up your head. But I've definitely enjoyed having the locks. Like I said, it's been a problem, you know, with, you know, drinking tea. And so she just got me this, y'all. So but yeah, it's been a problem, like, just with if you're trying to eat or if you're trying to do stuff. But yeah, I've enjoyed them. Like, I'm supposed to be getting a retwist tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I'm due for one too. I've had mine. We started ours around the same time, October.
Yeah, in October.
Yeah, so I've had mine 3 years and a couple months, and I would say this is the best decision I ever made for my hair. I've always liked the look of locks, but I just never thought I could do it. So I just got tired of figuring out what I was going to do with my hair every day. Then if depend on what the weather was too, you can go leave the house looking one way and 5 minutes later you look totally different. So I got tired of that. And one of my good friends, she has locks, my good friend Delinda, and hers were pretty. So I was talking to her about it and she was like, girl, just do it, And I thought about it, and because it's a commitment,
Yeah, it is.
It's a commitment. So I said, okay, if I do this, I'm gonna stick with it. So I was not quite sure how that first, new lock phase was gonna look on me, but I was committed. I said, well, I thought about the lock extensions because I didn't know they were really short, and I told my mom that if it looks crazy, I was going to get some lock extensions because I wanted to get locks and immediately go to looking like this, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So
I get that. I get that for sure.
Yeah. So I didn't get the lock extensions though because I liked it. It was cute. And when, in that first stage before it starts budding and locking, they kind of unravel a little bit at the root. So I just, wore headbands and things like that until my hair started to fully lock. And it didn't take long. At all. And I would say about month 6 is when I really fell in love with it.
Yeah. I guess with that being said, because I never mentioned this on the last podcast, but on the podcast that we did, but I think year like 2 years 8 months, like when I saw it was not this long, but it was like at least to like right here. I was like, yeah, boy, something's going crazy. Something's about to look different. Like when I get to year 5, 6, 7. Also, the thought of mine was, I didn't think my locks were growing like in the beginning stages, because of course I would see like a little speck of my hair, but I'm like, that's just a little speck. I don't think it's gonna grow. And then as it goes on, I still think about it. I'm like, I don't be seeing the side of my hair, and I see the side of my hair, and I'm like, well, when it gets to this point, boy, I'm gonna be able to see my locks. And sometimes I feel like it just goes slow. But
yeah, I remember it seems like with me, they were growing really slow, and then at one point, like at, maybe I would say about month 6, that's when they just took off.
Yeah.
It seems like they just really started growing. And it's been fun to watch it grow and trying to figure out how long am I going to let it get. But it's the best decision I've made for my hair.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this too. Like, I know you've asked this, but how long do I plan on having my hair? I plan on having I think I plan on having my hair past like my stomach. I'm not that tall. Like, for a 5'11" dude, like I'm not really that tall. So I want my locks to reach my stomach, but I do plan on cutting the bleach part off when they grow. Yeah. And like I said, I don't know what I want to do next. I did tell you that I kind of want to have that one style where it's like wrapped around like that. And I may do that this next coming retwist. Oh yeah. But yeah, it might be it'll be fun. Like I said, I'm thinking about cornrows or thinking about doing those little skinny braids. But yeah, like I said, man, I try to keep it a style that's like normal. I only do 2 styles. I've actually added a third one. The last one I've done, where I had those braided.
Yeah, the barrel twists.
The barrel twists, and then I had those last ones kind of the 2-strand twists. That's kind of like the one I've been doing mostly, but I'm about to start actually getting into the different ones. Yeah. Where I have it up in spirals and all that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really do styles because I do my hair myself, and I don't know how to do the styles, but I do want to get it to be a little bit longer so I can put it all in a bun. I haven't been able to do it yet. I think I have enough hair to do the bun, but I just can't maneuver it to where it will stay. Right. So, and I don't like to use a lot of product on my hair. Yeah. And I'm easy to get a headache too. So you probably starting to feel it too. It gets heavy. Yeah. It gets really heavy, especially when it's wet. Yeah. So, But yeah, I've loved having locks. I've learned to maintain them myself, and it just feels good to just watch your hair grow and keep it healthy, and it's like almost always done.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to do much to it.
Yeah.
It's low maintenance.
Yeah. And like I said, this is just advice for people that is starting locks. Don't use beeswax. Do not use anything that's like too oily. Try to use something like rose water, or try to use something that's more soothing. She recommended in the beginning that she was using lion locks. And so something that's not too oily to mess up your hair. And do not wash your hair in the beginning stages, because you will have if you have an afro and you try to 2-strand twist it, you just might as well just leave your afro. You might as well just do that. And also, this is something I did not do until just recently, until like this 2 years and 6 months. Started actually wearing my bonnet a lot more when I go to sleep.
Oh yeah.
So wear something over your head when you're going to sleep, because you're going to mess up your hair, and your locks may start thinning actually because of you not actually taking care of it. And friction.
Yeah, I keep my bonnet on it. I've been wearing a bonnet since I don't even know how, even before I had the locks, because it's good. You know, if you're sleeping and you're rubbing your head back and forth on the cotton sheets, you know, you lose the moisture and the friction. So having a satin bonnet does help protect your hair.
For sure. And yeah, don't be afraid of the ugly phase. Like I said, if you got you a little do-rag, or if you got you something that can cover your head, you know, and if you're going to public, just wear something over your head. No one will judge you in the beginning if you have locks that's in the ugly phase. Now, I'll say this though, just be careful though, because if you are doing locks, it depends on how you do it. It's gonna be a decision that you're gonna want to make sometimes, because this is what I did, and I kind of growing locks on the side of my sideburns too. These right here. If you want to start locks with just the little bun, the box, you know, you could do that. But if you're gonna go
like with the shaved sides,
shaved sides, you could do that. I started off with a bunch of hair, and so I had my side locks, but I cut them off, and now I regret it. The only reason why I regret it, because I'm like, I wish I had a whole head of locks. You know, just in case if I wanted to cut them off and put them in those places that she had messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's one other thing you could do. If your locks is not good, or if your locks, you feel like you just need to remove your locks and put them in different places, you could definitely do that. For sure, it's not gonna cost much. It's not gonna do much to you. So
yeah, and it's nice to. One thing I didn't think about, I went to lunch with my friend who had locks before I did. Hers are to her waist, and we were out to dinner, and we were just talking about life, stuff like that. And she told her husband, she's like, well, if we ever get in a bind financially, I got about $2,500 on my head. And I was like, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like over time, it felt like you spun over. It felt like I spun over. My first retwist was like $300, just because she added lock extensions. Yeah, just because of the lock extensions alone. And that's what I'm saying. Like the lock extensions, I don't know if you want to do that, because it does cost money. It depends on who, of course. But like, yeah, my first retwist. I know my third retwist. My bad. My first retwist I did, it was the beeswax that she did it. My the person I was with did it. And then the second one, it was the same. Third one I did, that's when I got the lock extensions, and she added that, and it was like 300 something just because of the lock extensions.
Wow. Yeah, that was one of the reasons I started doing mine myself.
Yeah.
I got my locks started with a loctician. She started them with comb coils.
Yeah.
And I went and got one retwist, and then it was time for me to do the second retwist. I did 2 retwists. Third retwist, I caught COVID. During the time I had my appointment, I had to cancel it. I caught COVID, but I wasn't sick. I just tested positive for COVID. So I felt okay. I started looking at some YouTube videos of other people redoing their own hair. And I said, I'm going to do it myself. And it turned out okay. So ever since then, I've been doing my own retwists.
Yeah.
So that's money that gets to stay in my pocket.
Saved in the pocket.
Yes. But my friend was telling me that, she said she had $2,500 on her head. This is expensive hair if we were to cut it off and try to sell it.
Yeah.
So, all of you with the waist length locks or past that, you ever get in a financial situation and in dire straits, you got about $1,500, $2,500 of hair on your head.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's good. I like I said, I like my life journey. Like I said, when I get that retwist, and before graduation, we talked about this. I'm hoping that my locks get to like right here. Mm-hmm. But like I said, only time will tell. It depends on how fast my hair does grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was surprised how fast it grew, because locks are like a protective style, right? Because it doesn't require, you're not combing it, you're not, manipulating it a lot, and it's all banded together, so it kind of protects itself. So anybody who is wanting to have a better, to maintain their hair better, or a protective way to retain length, I think locks would be a good decision.
For sure. This is another thing I wanted to talk about too. I know we talked about the love aspect, we talked about friendships, but I kind of want to twist it. So how do you find friendships? Like,
you mean how do I make friends?
Like what do you find the friendships that is most important?
I would just say consistency. Really accepting a person for who they are. That's how I would say a good friendship is. I tell everybody, me as a friend isn't like a typical friend, because I'm not the kind of person who talks on the phone every day, or we want to hang out every day, go places every day. I'm more of a homebody. Yeah. So, but if you need me, I'm there. Yeah. I'm not going to be calling you every day on the phone. I'm not going to be asking you to go out and do all these things, because I like to stay in my house. I like to stay at home. So friendship for me is just really knowing that person and still caring for that person regardless of who they are, how they are, and accepting them. Right. Because like I said, to be friends with me is, you can't be a needy person to be my friend, because I'm not that person who's all constantly calling, constantly hanging out. But most of my friendships have happened organically. I didn't really go seeking people out. It just kind of happened. We're in the same class. We worked together. We were in contact with each other over an extended period of time, and it just developed. Mm-hmm. So that's how a lot of my friendships happen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Me and some friends have had those conversations where we felt like we haven't been bad friends because we don't check up on each other, or we don't do this or we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you don't have to be a good friend by checking up on people every day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just asking them a quick question like, hey, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Just checking up on them like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to call people every day in order to, feel like you're friends with somebody. So it's good to check on people once in a while, but it's like it's real selfish if someone has to, feel like they have to text you, or that you have to text them every day, or that you have to check up on them every day. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's like one thing that I like having conversations with people about, the friendships that they feel like they have to be doing this or doing that to have friends, and to go extra mile where they don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah, that's actually a good topic. That's actually some good advice.
Yeah. I like my best friend. We see each other maybe 3 times a year. And we live in the same, we don't live far from each other. It's just that, when you get older, you have other responsibilities. You got a family, you got this, you got work, and we can't just be around each other a lot. She can call me 6 months from now, and I haven't talked to her in 6 months, and it's just like we never, like no time had passed.
Right.
So, friendships, and she's the same way. We get each other. She's the same kind of person. She likes to really be at home with her family. That's where she likes to spend her time, and that's how I like to spend my time. And we both understand that about each other. And me going months without talking to her, or her going months without talking to me, we don't take offense to that.
Right.
Because she gets it and I get it.
Right. Similar thing, like, me roll OG. OG tends to check on me every 2 days, right? Now OG, like I said, OG is very different because he's one of those types that if you talk to him, if you look at him, you would think he's not a talkable person. He don't like to. You look at him, you be like, I don't think I want to talk to him. But when you really get to talk to a fella like him, and y'all know who OG is because y'all been a part of the podcast and y'all seen him. He's one of the funniest dudes I know, and so it's like when he checks on me, we'll have those 2-3 hour conversations, and it doesn't have to be every day. I actually called him earlier, and he didn't respond, and then he called me and I didn't respond. He probably called me again about doing a podcast, but we do that because it's like a connection thing between me and him. But as if for Roland, right? Me and Roland will talk to each other when we see each other, and then sometimes he'll text me and sometimes I'll text him, and he will not check on me for 5 days straight unless I post something or unless I will do something, unless he wants to do a podcast, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? If I see something he posts or if I see something that he sent to me, you know what I'm saying, I'll talk to him in that retrospect, and I feel like that's just good enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, internally, I will say this. Internally, I feel like your friends should check on you. No matter what they call. If they look at you as a friend, they should check on you, and they should actually be there for you and see if they want you to be around. Like, if you going out to eat, if someone's going out to eat, let me say it like this. If your friend group is going out to eat and they don't invite you, then internally it makes me feel like, okay, you don't really care about me that much. But it doesn't always mean that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always mean that. Outside looking in, you know what I'm saying, those friendships that I have, like with OG, Roland, or someone like Zay, Leah, all them, I like having those friendships where I know I don't have to check on you. As long as I see you actually posting something that's positive, as long as I see that you're okay and healthy, like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Same for Yasmin. She'll do this thing where she'll talk to me and she'll ask, am I okay? Now, she does it every like 10-15 minutes, but it's someone, from a girl's perspective, I don't know, but like that's just how she is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's good to have those like friendships or those relationships that you have with people that, you don't have to talk to nobody.
Right.
Like, of course, like I mentioned, Yasmin, sometimes she'll just do her thing and I'll just stay quiet. And sometimes I'll stay quiet. I'll stay quiet, she'll stay quiet. You know what I'm saying? We'll just check on each other. As long as we're just on the phone with each other, we know everything's all right. Like, we're good, So it's good to have that connection with people. It's good to know that, hey, man, hey, as long as I'm good, as long as you're good, like, you don't have to check on me every day. And like I said, I don't think friendships are just based off what you're doing in person, and like they having to check up on you 25/8 in order for you to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you may just need to check on them. And I understand some cats will be like, well, I don't have nobody really checking up on me, and so I would just say, hey, just check on them. Just continue to check on them. You're doing your part by being a friend to them.
Yeah.
If they don't see you as a friend, if they don't see you as someone that is valuable to them, just go ahead and move on with your life.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, some friendships are seasonal.
Yeah.
This friend may work for you. It may be great for a certain period of your life, but when you evolve, they evolve. Maybe that friendship, maybe it will dissolve too, and you go on to meet other people. And different friends serve different purposes.
Right.
I have certain friends that I can just kind of joke around with, and they're really cool, and they like to do certain things that I like to do. But then I got the more quiet type friends, like to go to art galleries and things like that. And, because everybody can't meet every need. So sometimes, certain friends are for certain purposes.
Right.
I got this one friend that likes to work out. I don't hang out with her as much as I used to because I don't work out as like I used to. Or I've got this friend that likes to, do things like, we started our own little book club. She's more of a homebody like I am. So that's the one we get into contact maybe 3 times a year. And yeah, you just gotta, really cherish your relationships and maintain good friendships, good relationships. But then just be willing to know too that in certain parts of your life, certain friends may not be a part of that next journey in your life, and that's okay.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You have to accept the facts, that not every friend's for you. And like I told my friend yesterday, like a lot of cats look at me as like a mentor. And I'm not saying that to say, well, that makes me better than them. But it's just because I'm always thinking like 25/8 about situations. And so there's always people that's willing to talk to me about situation. And just because it's an empathy thing that I can actually start sensing people if they feel some type of way, or if I can look at somebody straight up and already tell if you're upset or something like that. Like, of course, overthinking sometimes will cause you to think that something is happening when it really isn't. But I got cats asking me all the time, like they'll randomly text me asking, hey, can I talk to you about this? And those are some of the best conversations, you know what I'm saying? Just that alone just makes you feel like, hey, well, hell, they actually understand, they actually think that they can trust me to talk to people. And I've had my friend OG tell me like I should be a mentor, but like I said, it's just kind of like my therapy is just, of course, podcasting and actually being able to help out people. But then again, the side effects of it being, well, they might not listen to me anyway, so why should I help them out? So it's just you know what I'm saying, you gotta make sure, you gotta know who's your friends. You gotta know if those friends are benefiting you to be successful, because those are the friends you should have in your life. You should always have people that around you that want you to have success and that's not jealous of your success.
And be careful of who you make friends with. Just because somebody doesn't necessarily mean that's your friend.
Right.
A lot of people get into bad situations, and I hear about it. And what I do talking to students, I got into this mess. I was with a group of friends, and the first thing I say is, what kind of friends let you get into this kind of mess? So, you got to think about, not everybody is your friend. And true friendship does take some time.
It does.
It takes time to get to know each other, get to figure out what type of person this is, and and how this person can also, y'all can benefit each other. But a lot of people use that word friend loosely.
Right.
And I really value the friendships, and my circle is pretty tight. I got like 1, 2, maybe 3 good friends.
Right.
That I've known for several years. But it's a good thing to maintain those good relationships and friendships, and it's also good to have casual acquaintances too. But when it's down to trusting someone and relying on someone, those types of friendships take time.
Well, my cousin told me this. He was like, hey, when you get older, the friends that you have now, 10 years or 5, even sometimes a year from now, they don't always tend to follow. So don't feel like you have to have friends, or you have to have the same friends to be happy with yourself. There's always people that's gonna trail in your life, and actually, some of those friends are actually gonna be your friends that forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to have a friendship with Roland for over 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I have put him through personally with my own anger or with my own stress. And since 6th grade, fella has like helped me out so much with, you know, with being aware of my anger or being aware of something that's going on and not allowing it to control me. Even though, like I said, there's a lot of times I felt like I could have lost Roland. He has been like one of those close friends. The same as OG. Like OG called me. There was one night that I was going through it. Like I said, it was just a situation in my mind that I was dealing with. And OG just called me. He was just, you know, I didn't answer because I went to sleep just to try to let it loose. But then that next day he called me. It was sometime this week. It was actually this week that happened. He called me. He was like, "Yo, you good? Like, is there anything you need to do? Like, what's wrong with you?" And I told him, it was like, "Bro, get your rest and stop editing so much, and also stop allowing people to control your mind, because you are not. You can't allow them to control you. You can't allow people to take over you. You know what I'm saying? If you see them, walk past them. If they say something to you, walk past them. If they do whatever to you, if they put their hands on you, don't do nothing. Just be resilient and just move on and prove them wrong." He said, "Don't give up about them." You know, so I'm like, okay, you know. I've had Roland tell me the same thing, but in a different retrospect, because OG's brutal when it comes up to advice. He's not brutal in the sense of like, he don't, like, if you talk to him, he's not going to talk brutal to you.
But he's not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, but he's not going to sugarcoat anything. You know what I'm saying? He don't care how you feel about it, whether you take it or not. That's one thing I had to learn from OG when I first met him. Like, how normally I don't like how he would talk to me, but when it's OG, of course OG is wise. Like, he's a very wise person. He could be very goofy and very, you know, aggressive at times, but like at the end of the day, fella is telling you stuff that he's gone through, and I kind of feel like I can relate to OG a lot, because me and him have those same anger issues. Me and him has those same triggers at times, and again, OG just checks up on me like I'm his like brother. Same as Roland, you know. And it's other people too. It's not those two. I mean, it's not only those two. It's other cats, but it's like those are my boys. Like, those are the main ones that have impacted me in a light that's like, bro, I can just push myself and motivate because of those guys. And so when I get this degree, when I get this future going, you know what I'm saying? Like, anywhere I go, they gonna be with me. You know what I'm saying? Whether life changes, whether if it's not like that no more, 10 years from now, whether I don't have Roland as a friend 10 years from now, which I don't think that'll happen, or whether I don't have a friend with OG that's 10 years from now, you know what I'm saying? I still love them. I still appreciate them.
And my good friend now, she and I were friends. We went to high school together, but we weren't friends then. We didn't really talk to each other. We just knew each other.
Right.
I knew who she was. She knew who I was. We then ended up working together. She ended up starting at Walmart when I was there. And we worked together for a few years, and that's when our friendship started to develop. And when I got pregnant with my son, her mom was babysitting a young little girl.
Right.
And I didn't want to put my son in daycare because I was thinking about, you know, all the germs and stuff from other kids. And I didn't want him to be around a whole bunch of kids. So I asked her, I said, would your mom be willing to keep my son too when I go back to work? And she said yes. So, you know, that kind of strengthened our relationship too, because I'd see her when she was at her mom's house. And I worked for a little bit, and then about when my son was 9 months old, I decided to stay home and stay home with him. So years went by, you know, we weren't really in contact with each other that much anymore. And it wasn't until maybe about 2 years ago, we just reconnected, you know, after years and years, and it was just like no time had passed.
Right.
You know, and, you know, that's a real friendship, you know.
Yeah.
I think.
And not every friendship should be sugar-coated. Like I said, OG, it's good to have an OG in your life, you know, who will brutally tell you, hey, bro, hey, get this stuff fixed, man.
Yeah, that's a real friend.
You know what I'm saying? I had OG when an English class, when I didn't do good in English. I did good. I passed it, but I didn't get the requirement. OG was getting on me. Like he was like, bro, you should have did this, you should have did that, bro. Hey man, this, that, you know. And then this semester, before it started, he was like, man, all A's, no excuses. I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to have those friendships, you know, that'll tell you, even if they aren't forever, you learn something from those people. You know what I'm saying? That might be there for the time being and just head on with themselves. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's just because of a fallout or whether that's just because life is life.
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes you fall out with your friends, and sometimes you fall back in.
Yeah.
And like you said, that's life. You know, good friends can have arguments, and like you said, good friends can be tough on you when you need it.
Yeah.
That's what you need. That's what you want a friend for.
Yeah, for sure. And not everything, you know, like how Miss Hartley said earlier, make sure you find good friends. Make sure you have real good friends. Don't be the one to go to a bank and rob. If you have a friend group, you know what I'm saying, that's doing the same thing. At least be the leader. At least be the one to be like, no. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like your friend group is like that. Not every friend group is for you. Not every friend group is beneficial to you. And don't act so grown if you feel like, you know, if your parents or your people is telling you like, hey man, you need to let these people go. You know what I'm saying? They're there to help.
Know.
Yeah. Parents will always know. Just because of how you sound. If you talk with a lot of slang, most times a lot of cats will look at you and be like, hey man, I don't know about him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about her. You know, so you have to just be wise of who your friends are. You have to also know that when people are telling you like, hey man, life is just gonna be the way it is, whether you like it or not, and that you don't need to be having a lot of friends to live. I had to learn that at 18. I had to learn that at 18. My dad passed away. I had to learn that so fast. So when I got to college, I had friends from high school. They never told me the reason why, and he still go here now. I'm not gonna call his name out, but he still goes here now. Like, and then it's like he questions why I'm like away towards him, and now I moved on. I've completely moved on from it. You know what I'm saying? There's other things I still gotta move on from.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Hey, I got people on my corner that's telling me, hey man, this is how you do it. That's how you do it. You know, so friendships don't always have to be about going somewhere and just chilling. It could be just a simple phone call and just asking how you doing, talking about football or whatever you like to talk about. Have a good laugh. Sometimes have a good cry. You know, and so like I said again, man, friendships are not fantasized. Friendships should not be fantasies. They should be real life scenarios that'll teach you something, because not all friends are gonna be there again. But again, yeah, like that was a good point. Like I said, I've talked to Jeremiah about that actually, about the friendships. You know, feeling like you have to be there to check up on somebody every single day. But sometimes I mean, personally, I'm just gonna talk for myself. I just don't have the energy. And sometimes internally, if I know you ain't gonna check up on me, I'm not about to check up on you. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not a one size fits all. Friendships can be different.
Yeah.
You know, like we've talked about. My good friend, we talk maybe every 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, it's still a great friendship. Some friends are at each other's house every day hanging out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how they do friendship. There's no right or wrong way. But I think every friendship should have a foundation of mutual trust and respect.
Right.
You know.
And to also end this off, because we're about to end this podcast soon, but to end it off, at least this part off, a friendship should never matter about status. You know what I'm saying? Just because you see someone with a high status, don't be jealous. You know, make your own status up. You know
And
what
a
I'm
friendship shouldn't be stressful.
saying? Friendship should not be stressful. That's not a friend, that's an acquaintance. Like I said, if someone asks you, hey man, let's go somewhere, and you ask where you want to go, and they be like, well, I want to go to, I ain't gonna say it because that's my friend, a bunch of my friends does that, but let's go rob a bank. I'm just gonna say it like that. Friends want to rob a bank. You know what I'm saying? Be wise and let yourself know what I'm about to do here could either end my life, could either send me to jail for a long time, or I could just stay here and just have other friends that I can actually, hang out with, just drink some tea with, or have a charcuterie board party with. You know what I'm saying? Like, be wise with your friends. I know life is short, man. And just make the most out of the life that you live now, because it'll get you, as you get older, you'll understand how what people are telling you, what older folks are telling you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is why I kind of wanted to add Miss Hartley on the podcast, because she's one of those adults. Like she's one of those people that I talk to, not only for school stuff, like just life in general, because I'm wanting to learn something every day. Because when I turn in my 30s and 40s, and when I get up there, that I want to help someone out, like a young cat with something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because like I use my life experience when I talk to students, and I can relate to a lot of things with students because my freshman year was not the best.
Yeah.
So I understand what it's like, and I learned things to help me progress and do better, and I want to share that experience with people too.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things to be grateful for. It's a lot of things to be happy for. And if you in your 20s like I am, or whether you're younger than that, because I know I have a demographic of 18 and up, whether you're young or whether you're even older, you know what I'm saying, just be grateful for life in general. And don't allow yourself to feel like you have to have friends, or you have to have this amount of money, or you have to have this certain car to be living. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have a car. You know what I'm saying? I'm making my way around by walking. I don't have certain things around me, but I'm still making a way.
Right. It's all about quality of life.
Yeah.
You can be a billionaire and be miserable.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what most billionaires get themselves caught into all that stuff, because they're billionaires, and it's like the news is gonna be on them. You know what I'm saying? So be grateful for what you got, because like I said, you do not want to be put into that position where someone is spying you. You know what I'm saying? Spying you, and someone's willing out to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? When you make your name known out in public, people are out here willing to kill you. And like I said, and this is very sad. And this is the last thing I'll say. Y'all heard about this dude. I don't know if y'all heard about this dude, but this dude from high school, he was one of the top basketball players that was coming out. Was about to probably go somewhere. I don't know where he was gonna go. The instant this dude made a diss song about his homies, about some other people, he got killed the next day. So, like I said, man, don't waste your time. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what will make you do that. Like personally, I don't know what will make you do that. But don't make yourself a target. You know what I'm saying? Don't make yourself a target. Be happy with your life, because life is simple and short. And just be happy because you woke up the next day, another day. So that being said, my bad. My reflux is hitting bad. I'm sorry. That being said, Miss Hartley, I thank you so much for being on the podcast.
You're welcome. I was glad to be here.
Hopefully, the recording actually got our audio this time, because I'm looking at it right now. It's spiking, so hopefully it does get us. I've been looking at the board too, and it's been going up as well. So again, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, I appreciate you for wanting to do this again. You could have just been like, I don't feel like doing it again. But
I like to support people. I see the work that you've been doing, because I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
And It's been it was an honor for you to ask me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you know, you want an old lady on your podcast.
No,
you know? I was like, man, that really made me feel good. You know, I really appreciate that. This was a great opportunity to see you in action doing your thing.
Yes, man.
And I really appreciate it.
Yes, man. Cause like I said, it's like, you know, we don't have many adults on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We have adults, you know, OG's 25.
Yeah.
I'm 22.
I'm twice that.
Oh. OG's 25. Like, I'm 22. Roland's 21.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have people of our age groups, you know, that's on our podcast, but we never have them, you know, we never have people of like 30, 40, 50,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's on our podcast. Cause like I said, like, we're trying to grow, we're trying to branch out, we're trying to have more people like you on a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And not only that, we just want to have you, we want to have other people like Miss Dr. Stacy, or we want to have other people like Dr. Johnson. You know what I'm saying? People like those, you know, even though I don't personally talk to them, like I would love them to see this and be like, oh, well, he's doing teachers too.
Yeah.
He's doing teachers and advisors too. So, you know, this is one way I wanted to just branch out and show that, well, we're not only just a kid podcast. We're not only talking sports. We're not only talking about life stuff. Like, we want to have other people on here too, to try to grow and branch out, you know. So again, I appreciate you being on.
Of course.
Locked In Podcast. Again, I appreciate y'all for watching. I'll try to get this out by, I'm thinking Sunday, because Roland's gonna be on. Roland wants to do a podcast Sunday, and I want to get that out by, try to get it out by Wednesday. But yeah, and then we might got another special guest on here on Friday. So it's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of editing, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to take my time. I'll let y'all know if I have to take a break so that I can just focus on school, because of course, like I said, school comes first.
School comes first.
This is just a side gig or something, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I don't really care if this podcast grow, but particularly if people wants to listen and people wants to actually, you know, support it, you know what I'm saying? Of course, make sure to subscribe, follow, and share. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed. Appreciate y'all, and hopefully the audio don't sound bad. So with that being said, I love y'all, appreciate y'all, and we're out. We want to appreciate this time for having Miss Hartley on the podcast. If you want more episodes like this, make sure to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell for more. Again, stay locked in. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And I'm out.